Welcome, everyone. I am Monique from MD Consulting. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'd like to talk today about empathy. If you have been watching these videos and connecting with me on social media, you know that I have a live talk radio show that launched a few months ago called Leading with Intention. And on the episode that aired live April 6th, 2023, I spoke with my guest, Uche Maple, about this topic of empathy, about why it is so important in the workplace and how can leaders develop empathy. We also talked about two other key points: what to do if you are being managed by someone who is a toxic leader, and that manager is also your mentor. And then we talked about what to do if you have too much empathy. So today I'm going to go over just a few of these highlights. And then I really encourage you to watch the rest of the show. It's an hour-long show on the VoiceAmerica Business channel, again, called Leading with Intention. And this episode aired live April 6th, and it is available for download. When we talk about empathy, the main question here is, how do you develop it? That's the question I get from leaders all the time in coaching. And Uche and I on my show addressed this question. And the answer is a bit simple: listening. Listening is the best way to show empathy, and it is a soft skill. And I work with my clients all the time in coaching about how to develop better listening skills, better active listening skills. So there are many strategies to that, which Uche and I went over together on the show. But really, it is the key component to empathy. You need to listen more. And what I find when leaders come to coaching trying to develop empathy is that they are talking too much and not listening enough. So one thing you can start doing right now, if you are a leader and you want to develop empathy and you think you might be talking too much, you can stop talking and start listening. And you might have to bite your tongue to do that. With my clients, we come up with strategies to help them stop talking and start listening a little bit more. And you will find that when you start doing that, you are actually showing empathy, and your direct reports will know it right away. I think leaders need to stop solving everyone else's problems. So when your direct reports come to you with problems, stop talking, stop trying to solve their problem, listen more. Many times, direct reports just want you to listen. They don't want you to solve their problems. So that's one thing to be very, very careful about. And really, when your direct reports come to you with a problem, they should also be coming to you with a potential solution. And if they aren't doing that, that is one thing that you should coach them on, is creating their own solution and coming to you with that, instead of expecting you as their leader to come up with the solution. They need to be doing their own critical thinking. So if you can start with those couple of things, you will be taking huge steps forward to be developing empathy. Now, the other thing Uche and I talked about was what to do if you have a manager who is toxic, who does not have empathy, and that manager is also your mentor. First of all, you do not want to be mentored by someone toxic. So my guest Uche suggested two things. You either find a way to transfer into a different position within your company so that you can get away from that person, or you leave the company altogether. Now, those two things sound very harsh, but you are doing yourself a disservice if you continue to report to a person who is toxic and someone who has also been designated as your mentor. You do not want to be mentored by someone who is toxic. So again, listen to the full episode so that you can get all of the details that Uche and I talked about. The third thing we talked about was what to do if you have too much empathy, because some leaders do come to coaching and they tell me that they have too much empathy and that they have so much empathy that they cannot give feedback to their direct reports because they feel too guilty about it. They're too worried about hurting the feelings of the other person. So, first of all, let me say this: you are not doing them any favors by withholding feedback. So in coaching, we talk through how to downplay your empathy, because empathy is a good thing. It's just that you need to know when to balance it. You need to know when to use it and when to downplay it. And there are plenty of strategies as to how to downplay your empathy. And I'll give you a very quick one here, but then please email me for a more comprehensive list or listen to the episode that aired on April 6th. And you can email me at Monique at mdconsultingglobal.com. But one way to downplay your empathy when you have to give feedback is to only give the facts and keep your emotion out of it. So by facts, you're going to give examples of something you saw or observed, dates, specific situations, people, meetings, any place where you observed this. You want to give the entire explanation and the entire example, and then explain how that person behaved and how that behavior had some kind of an impact on the group or the company or the organization. By reporting only the facts when you're giving feedback, you are keeping the emotion out of it. And that's a really key component here, because your empathy is your emotion. So if you want to downplay your empathy, you want to downplay the emotion and only report the facts. And you should be doing that anyway when you're giving any kind of feedback. You should be keeping the emotion out of it and only talking about the facts, so that the person you're talking to has a very clear idea of what happened, what they did, what their behavior was, and what the impact of that behavior was. And you want to end that feedback conversation with some kind of an action plan. You want that person to come up with a plan as to what they will do differently next time. How will they grow from this? What have they learned from this? How can they have different behavior next time? So that is a quick tip on how to downplay your empathy if you are a leader with too much empathy. And again, if you are a leader with not enough empathy, you need to listen more and talk less. So I really encourage you to email me for more information or visit my website at mdconsultingglobal.com. All of this content in these videos you're seeing, and even the content in my radio show, is coming from my book that I wrote. And I'm currently pitching it to publishers now to get it out there, get it published so that you'll have the information. But in the meantime, you're getting little tidbits of it through these videos. And if you're my coaching client, you definitely are getting the information through coaching as I coach with you. So I hope this information was helpful. Have a great day.